The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. Ladies and gentlemen, the Church of Lazlo has begun.
Hi, how are you?
I've never been better in my entire life. How are you?
I'm great.
You look good in that Lions shirt.
I could use a drink.
It's Black Friday. What do you guys, is it Blue Friday, Gray Friday?
We don't really do that, just Friday.
Yeah. What
That's something that I never heard of until I got here.
Yeah.
Where the whole city does a color?
When did that start here, though? Not until like the late 90s or something, right?
I just grew up with it. It's just what we did, so I don't know when it started.
I thought it was like...
By the time I was born, it's what you did.
Well, if I had to pick a color for the Lions, I would say blue, I feel like. Because
it's not just blue.
Yeah?
Show some respect.
What is it?
Honolulu blue.
Honolulu blue.
There we go.
Okay.
Honolulu blue and gray.
Gotcha.
Because when you think Detroit, you think what? Honolulu. Bitch.
I mean, I was there last month. First thing I thought of.
This place reminds me of Honolulu.
That place is on the up and up, though. Detroit was a good time.
See?
I'm not going to lie, I had a very good time.
I said the same thing. I liked it when I was there.
You always talk smack. You're the worst person
The Red
ever.
Wings fans were all nice in the street. It's my brother and I.
It's all brand new. It looks a lot like Kansas City.
I thought it looked like there was like a monorail running with Chrysler ads on it.
It's called the People Mover.
It was cool.
Because it moves people.
It's not the Trump
Like people
train.
get on it and then it moves them around.
What was Trump's called in the 90s? Remember didn't he have a monorail thing in Atlantic City? The Trump train, Trump something. All right, we have to give away our trip. It's Friday, right?
You're right.
So this week's trip for two at 2 is a trip to ACL.
Yes.
Huge lineup. Huge. So hopefully you are paying attention.
Everybody
right now.
from, I don't remember who.
Well, you were excited about Guns N' Roses, the Rockin' Tours.
Gambino.
Sam Fender, who I like quite a bit.
Yeah. So we are now going to call the last 4 digits of a phone number. If it sounds like your phone number, you are going to call us at 5767965.
Text line says it's technically blue.
Technically blue. I like that.
You mudda. Right.
So you want to read out the last 4 digits of this random number here? And then if it sounds like your number, call immediately. You got 10 minutes to call back. 5767965. Hartzell, you'll set a timer, right?
We got it.
Yeah. And then boom. You're headed to ACL. Here's the number I just pulled out. 0856. 0856. Last 4 digits. Your phone number is 0856. You call us now. 5767965.
Yep. Got 10 minutes. Hartzell's got the timer going. 9 minutes, 65 seconds.
Start the
We
clock.
don't have to stop talking, though, do we?
No. Here, Hartzell, I'll
you.
give you the sheet so you can verify. Because I definitely wanted to talk to you about something.
What'd I do?
No. It's not anything personal. It was something that I read, in one of those back page news stories.
Sure.
The actual headlines is a quote, and it says, "I can't help having a big penis."
Yeah.
So this is a picture of the guy.
People have them.
There's the guy.
That guy has a big penis.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess about 10 inches.
Really?
Like
Wait,
just laying
This is the
there.
picture. Is that it?
No, it's just
a picture of him.
It's just a picture of him in a tank top.
Gotcha.
He's got some tattoos.
It looks like he's
gold
7
necklace.
foot tall.
Yeah, he's got a Nike tank top on, like a gold cross.
See, that
And,
doesn't impress me. Because proportion, that's about right.
Sure.
What was the last 4 numbers of that?
0856.
0856. If that sounds like your number and you got qualified this week, you should be calling us 5767965. So this guy's a window fitter. His name's Steve.
What up,
Somebody's
Steve?
calling. His name's Steve, and he says he had to pull down his jeans and his boxers at a retail store to prove that he wasn't shoplifting because the staff there spotted the suspicious bulge in his crotch.
Oh, really?
Yep, he's 47 years old, and he said he felt like he had no choice but to drop his trousers after being falsely accused of stealing clothes on a trip to this place I've never heard of it, Hanley's shopping center.
What did they say?
He claims he was stopped from leaving the store around 30 minutes. They held him there, despite going to great lengths to try and prove his innocence by heading into a cubicle and eventually showing a male member of the staff there his 10-inch penis.
What did the male member say?
The drama unfolded during an outing to the city center with his partner, Mandy Shenton, she's 46, and an 18-month-old grandson last Sunday. Steve selected several T-shirts and a new bag before paying the $390
Mandy
tab.
Shenton?
Yeah, that's his Shenton.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Mandy Shenton.
Shenton. But as he went to leave, the manager confronted him and accused him of smuggling items in his pants. He says, I walked up to the door to leave, but they stood in front of me. I thought it was a joke at first. I was completely gobsmacked. And keep in mind, he just spent a bunch of money, too. It's not like he was wandering around and then left. They're saying he bought stuff. They kept pointing at my crotch. And I replied, excuse me, that's my penis. I said to them, what do I have to do to prove that I'm innocent? He says they wouldn't let it go, so I felt I had no choice but to pull down my pants. I told them, look, I've got nothing to hide, but they still kept accusing me. I volunteered to go into the changing room with the male member of the staff to prove that it was all me, which he says a male member. I mean, look, it doesn't matter, but I would volunteer with the female member. And I'll prove it to you.
Sure.
I'm not stealing anything. Come on, let's take a look, Jennifer. But I guess he decided to find a male, specifically a member of the staff. And he says, I put on a bit of weight lately, so my jeans were very tight, and there was a bit of a bulge, but I can't help the way that I'm made. I am very well endowed. But when I came out, they still tried to block me. I was kept prisoner there. A huge crowd of more than 100 people had built up outside. It was
staring at his wiener?
Humiliating. I guess just because he'd been accused of stealing, and they're confronting him. A lot of people think it's funny, but I don't think it's a laughing matter. I can't believe I got my manhood out, and they still didn't believe me. Steve insisted he remained calm until the manager produced him security tags and continued to refuse to allow him to leave, despite him proving there was nothing hidden inside his pants.
Man.
At that point, he demanded a refund, because remember, he just spent a bunch of money, and vowed to never return to that shop again.
That's a 10-inch flaccid wiener?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's a big wiener.
Yeah.
Right? Who's having fun with that?
Has it been 10 minutes yet? How much time they got left?
We had one call. That wasn't it. We got 5 minutes left.
Oh, okay, you got 5 minutes. What's the last 4 digits of that number we're looking for?
Last 4 digits, 0856.
0856. If that sounds like your phone number and you got registered this week for the trip for 2 at 2, you should be calling us 576-7965.
You say who's having fun with it? Women are having fun with it, I think.
There's
Right.
no way.
Man, that thing can put out a baby. They just make you feel good by saying yours is big. Oh,
Right.
It's so big, but it's not. It can push like a 9-pound child out of it. Sometimes bigger.
Oh, the vagina can.
What'd you think it was, sir?
You were talking
Anus?
about his wiener. I was like, what do you mean it can push out a baby?
His
I thought you
wiener
meant like he
cannot
doesn't
push
even
out-
need a woman. His penis is so big it incubates that baby right there.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying
I
a
got you.
woman's vagina can handle a 10-inch penis.
I'm
Trust
just
me.
saying, just on the regular,
Yeah,
though.
they have to-
Yes.
they're just nice. They're nice people, so they're nice to
Seems
us.
exhausting.
And they say, oh,
Right.
it's
It
seems
this, or, oh,
exhausting.
it's this. Oh, yours is long, but it's skinny, or it's,
Right,
oh, it's
you know,
wide, or it's you've
It's
got
not
good
about
motion.
that. I love you. That's all those things.
I
But
think it's
they
got
can
a-
handle
It's got a good shape.
a baby. A full, big-ass baby.
Man, that's different, though. It's a different set of, it's a different mindset.
It's the same place.
It's the same place.
He added,
And they're like, oh, it hurts, but
Man, let
they're
me feel-
still able to do it.
Let me feel special.
They can put a baby through it. A baby's head.
This wiener guy says, I only lost my temper in the last 5 minutes. I
A
admit
baby's head is like that big. It just goes...
He says, I only lost my temper in the last 5 minutes. I admit I called the manager a bitch because I was frustrated, but at no point was I aggressive.
You're aggressive
bitch
just in
calls her a
general
bitch.
by having a 10-inch wiener.
The reason we had gone in
That's
the
an
first
aggressive
place,
act by having that big of a wiener.
The reason we had gone in the first place was because I found out that I had a non-acute heart attack 2 weeks earlier. I'd been really down because I couldn't go to the gym or work. So my partner decided that she'd treat me to some new clothes to help cheer me up. I was having heart palpitations. I thought I was going to faint. It was really stressful. Well, you got to imagine a lot of blood is being supplied to that. You're probably lightheaded
Sure.
a lot. It's not nice to be accused of being a thief. I've never stolen anything in my
Does
life.
this guy ever shut up?
I was begging
Been talking
security
for like
to call
10 minutes.
police.
Shut up. We get it. You have a huge wiener.
He says he tried to call the police, but his phone was dead, and then he kept pleading with them to check the CCTV.
We get it. He has
He's like,
a
check the
huge
security
wiener.
cameras.
Oh, yes, sir. You have a huge wiener.
He said
We
it was
understand.
only after he got the refund that he was allowed to leave. Steve went straight home following the confrontation, but was so upset with the false accusation he decided to return to make a complaint the following morning. He said, I only go to sleep at 6 a.m. as I was so stressed. As soon as I woke up, I went down to speak with security. Would someone really go to the point
Steve.
of showing their penis if they weren't telling the truth? If the manager had admitted her mistake, I'd have left it there. But now I think she should be severely reprimanded. I want a formal apology. I must be the only person to have spent $396 but still get accused of theft. I feel like a little man. No, you don't. You've never felt like a little man. Come on. A little man, be it one with large penis. He said that. Against this big corporate company. It's so frustrating. His girlfriend said what they did to Steve was disgusting. Spokesperson for the store said the customer in question was exhibiting suspicious behavior in the store, and when the store manager confronted the customer, he became abusive. At no point did the colleague ask the customer to remove any clothing. Spokesman said, we've apologized to Mr. Whitehurst, who is happy now with our apology. Come on, he got this story out there
Text
on
line
purpose.
says, y'all are idiots. Don't discuss women's bodies unless you have one. What? That doesn't make any sense. Do you only talk about stuff you have?
Right.
Like you're not allowed to discuss politics because you're not a politician.
Right.
Shut it, Karen.
Like every guy who raps about a Maybach has a Maybach. I don't think so.
I wasn't in the Civil War, but I understand it.
Right.
And I feel qualified to talk about it.
We can have a discussion.
It's always Karen. It's always goddamn it Karen.
Jesus.
We can talk about this guy's huge unit, but we can't talk about the effects that might have on his life with women.
I have a question. Is a big member, is that like just our culture? Like in other places, is it a big deal? Like, is it such a, like over here?
Sex is a universal thing, so I would assume that.
I don't know, it feels uniquely American.
What, the.
Also,
you'd
we have
be
less
excited
than a
to
minute.
have that. You'd be excited to have a large penis.
Well, because it's such a big deal over here. You know how we always.
I think it's probably a big deal anywhere. I think if you are in Belgium and you meet a girl on Tinder and then she finds out you have a 10-inch penis, I think that is going to be a big topic of discussion and possibly a point of pride for the
both
man.
of you.
For both of you. But it's got to be for him. I don't care what country you live in if you're walking around with that. That guy that we interviewed, Falcon, is that his name? That's like our most viewed YouTube video ever is our interview with him. He made it sound like...
Gotta pull that one up.
He made it sound like he didn't love it either. Like he kind of wished he didn't have one. I'm like, I don't know, man. You got a Wikipedia page because of your penis. Like if you type in his name, there is a full Wikipedia page. It says he's an American actor and television presenter. He came to national attention
Text
over
line
the size
does
of
make
his
a
penis.
sense, make a strong argument, and says you can't talk about this dude's wiener since all of you have small wieners.
That's true.
We're at less than 30 seconds.
All right, let's bring those numbers in here.
Less than 30
launch
seconds.
another one. If you had the option, like if there was a button you could push that said you'll have this the rest of your life, you'd take it, right?
What?
The 10-inch penis. Wouldn't you?
I want to take the pay cut, my man.
I feel like I would take it. I don't know how you could say no to that. All right. Has it been 10 minutes?
It has been
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
All right.
On the dot.
Time for another number?
You want me to do it?
Yeah, just grab a random one there. And again, this is for the trip for 2 at 2. We're trying to get a winner here. So if you were qualified this week, Lazlo's calling out last 4 numbers. The first person missed their chance. So here's the second one.
6123.
6123. If that sounds like the last 4 digits of your phone number and you think you're qualified for this week's trip for 2 at 2, you should be calling right now. 5767965.
Right, the last 4 digits of your phone number is 6123.
Sound good? We'll check in a second.
This is the Church of Lazlo on 96.5.
Women are very protective about their vaginas.
Oh, yeah, the text line?
Yeah, but I didn't think I said anything bad about your vagina, ladies.
No, you said like it's so. It's so.
I said you're being nice to men
It's so versatile.
because men walk around and they think that they have these huge penises, and
Only
the world
because women
and
give
the
them
world
that
revolves
reinforcement
around
they
the
need.
penis. And I think every once in a while, it's important that me, and you ladies, remind men that your vagina can push out a baby's head.
Body.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Right. Well, just a head alone, the circumference of a baby's head.
Right. But women are very good at knowing how to tell men the things they need to hear to keep us confident.
Right.
You know, if it's a woman in your life that you love, or so she's going to tell you something good about it. She might not straight up lie and say it's the biggest she's ever seen, but she's going to tell you something nice about it. Like, you know what I like about it? Oh, it's one of the biggest, whatever. Makes you feel a little better. But it is good once in a while for men to have a reality check, look in the mirror, and remind themselves, hey,
this ain't hurting anybody.
This ain't that big.
Ain't hurting anybody.
And they would be pleased as punch if it were a little bigger. And that's all.
Yes.
They're nice about it. And I get it. In that area, we let you down. We do. Men overwhelmingly let you down with our anatomy. Our anatomy lets your anatomy down. It really has. Not all men. Obviously, this shoplifting guy who had to pull down his pants to prove he wasn't stealing.
But even
his
that
balls are so big.
Well, I mean, that's probably as big as a baby.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Probably like
I'm saying
a
that
baby's arm holding an apple.
I'm saying that would probably excite a lot of women.
Yeah,
And to say that
comparatively,
it-
but
and
I'm
to
still
say that
saying
it
it's
wouldn't.
still not a baby.
Right.
It's a baby's arm holding like a peach.
Sure.
That's what it would look like.
Yes, but the point is, I think a lot of women would be excited about that if their
Right.
boyfriend had a 10-inch penis. I don't think it's a requirement for them. They're not that vain. But if they date someone and he's got a 10-inch penis, I think they're pretty excited. And they probably tell their friends, right? Like,
Sure.
so it's so crazy. But this guy I met on Tinder, we've been dating a couple weeks. He has a huge wiener.
I'm sure.
Of course you talk about that. Why not?
Right, of course.
Why not? And then you're going to tell that guy. And that guy, he already knows. Like, he believes it. He's like, yeah, I took showers in high school. I've seen porno. I assume the guys in porno are in porno for a reason. And to see that theirs are smaller or comparable to mine, I think I'm doing pretty well. Other men see porno and think, oh, those guys are freaks. Freaks of nature. That's how they got into the business.
All I'm saying is, ladies, your vaginas are beautiful
And
they're
versatile.
used for other things.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they're not beautiful. They're pretty disgusting. But
Oh, my gosh. Even the disgusting vagina thing. You know, a lot of people think they're really hot. And, yeah,
man, okay.
sexy.
Okay, they're not.
But, well, just because you don't like it, it is subjective. Some people really
It's an
like
open
it.
wound.
So it's not though. It's a part.
It
It's part
is.
of,
It's an
now.
open
Now
sore.
you're definitely being disrespectful
open
to a
sore.
woman's body. It's not a sore.
It's an open wound.
No, it's not.
It is an open wound.
No, it is.
It goes inside their body and it bleeds.
It's an incubation
open-
chamber for life.
Also an open wound.
No, it is. It is a beautiful. It's a beautiful flower. It's an incubation chamber for life. It creates life, man. Come on, we can't do that. They have that over us.
That was beautiful.
right.
That was beautiful.
It is a wonderful thing. And a lot of guys see it, or girls, and go, that turns me on.
Oh, yeah. A lot of guys see it and they go, that's an incubation chamber
They
for
don't think
life.
like that.
I have a boner.
They don't think like that. In the
Of
heat of
course
the moment,
not.
you don't think like that.
Of course not.
You're horny.
You're pandering
Right.
now. It's,
No, you're horny
you don't
now.
want to look at that.
No, some guys really do.
I know.
I'm
I've
so
seen the
excited to see
videos.
it. Yes.
And I'm like, you guys are freaks.
I have friends that's all they talk about. All they talk about. Oh man, I'll bet hers looks like this. And they're just obsessed, and that's
You don't
want to
look in there, do you?
They want to.
Tell me. Look at me.
Go to the-
you want to look in there?
Dine at the Y or whatever, huh?
You want to look in there? Take a little look-at-loo?
Like, I don't need in those pornos where they take the
Yeah, right, you watch that?
speculas or whatever and pull it over. I don't need that. That's not sex. I'm not trying to shame anyone, but I don't need all the medical equipment and then lights and cameras. I don't understand what we're trying to do there. Those guys are really curious who make those videos. Like, they really want to see more.
Yeah, I'm not.
Like, I get the idea here. I'm looking at it and I like it.
No, thanks.
I like to
Maybe
make-
it's
make
my
love.
tryptophobia.
That could be
Tryptophobia.
That could be. But that's going to be a problem for sex in general. Just any
I don't
type
look
of-
at it.
at anything though.
Oh, my
God. Like, do you like kissing women? Do you like making out with? Does that turn you on? Like making out with a girl at a bar? Do those
Yeah.
memories?
What
of
is your
doing that?
foreplay? I am so
Yeah.
curious.
Like, what do you like to do? Like, if you're really getting hot and heavy, you're 24 years old, you're at a bar. What were you doing? You grabbing her ass? But you were making out, right?
I'm not saying I won't do anything.
I know.
In the heat
But
of
you
the
make it
moment, I'll
sound
do
like-
anything except for the one thing that you and Snowcone
But
do.
you make it sound like
no
that's
matter
good
how
stuff.
drunk I do that.
oh, that's good stuff.
you do it too.
Oh,
Hartzell,
come on,
yeah.
come on.
It's everybody.
That's the
but
thing
you.
I don't do.
Right.
But other than that, everything. What I'm saying
you-
is, but you can sit here at least normally and say, in a bar at the age of 24, when I'm having a couple of beers, I would make out with you and put that thing wherever you want to put it.
Right.
But now I'm sitting here somewhat sober.
Yeah.
And I'm saying
Somewhat.
that thing ain't. It ain't what.
This is what Lazlo does all the time. He basically says, "I'm not attracted to women, but in the heat of the moment,
but I ain't gay.
But in the heat of the moment, I'm like, yeah, right. That's really what I'm getting at. You're like, you don't seem all that attracted to women.
I find women beautiful.
Yeah,
I love ladies' legs. I love whatever you call that.
Breasts.
Well, I didn't know what you could say on the radio or not. I didn't want you to dump me.
Chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their features, feminine features. I'm just saying that in and of itself is,
But you also don't.
Is that what you're trying to describe there?
The last one is the millennial.
Yeah, I'm not doing the
buffet.
millennial shake.
The millennial buffet. We call it.
Man.
Yeah, no. I'll do the first one, not the second one.
All
it's
day
like
long.
every millennial that I talk to.
Why?
So
Why?
it must be from porn because they do it in porn. Since we were kids, we're watching porn where they're doing that. I guess that's why we thought it's part of normal sex or whatever, or something we wanted. Because let's be honest, we don't get sex education in this country, so you get it from porn.
That's absolutely right.
That's where you get it. They don't talk about it.
Nope.
It's not like in France where the teacher pulls down a chart of a vagina and says, all right, man, this is how you please a girl. They start teaching them that in junior high. They don't do that here.
Self-trained here. Self-trained over here.
Wear a condom. Here's some
No,
tampons.
that's true. Lady says your penis and testicles don't. No, they're awkward, floppy things that hang off the body.
They're
Of
not
course.
attractive.
I'm not saying that they're unattractive. Right. No, I can hate both of them.
Genitals in
I don't
general.
like genitals.
You just don't like them.
No.
No, he just doesn't like genitals.
I don't like the way genitals look.
And so there, you learned something today. Lazlo, not a genital guy, but he also is out on the millennial buffet. So
come on, man, give it a shot. Don't knock it till you try it.
I guess he's a kisser. You're
That's
a
how
kisser.
you get hepatitis, man.
You're a kisser.
I'm not getting hepatitis like that.
Oh, you already got it. You already had it.
Not
little norovirus.
Oh man, I saw you get sick.
anyone.
Got the whole station sick.
I didn't get the whole station sick. I went to the hospital.
You got everybody sick. I puked for like 3 days because
No, you didn't.
Your
get
ass
it. No one
play with a
else
stripper.
got it.
So
No one
disgusting.
else got it. I forgot.
I got it. I went home and had to lay in the shower, and I texted you from my one hand outside of the shower saying, I have things coming out of every orifice right now, and I'm just laying in the shower dying.
I threw up blood.
Try not doing that with anyone. That's how you spread that.
Well, I threw up blood, ended up in the hospital, and still came to work, by the way. I got to the hospital at 5 a.m. I still came to work to do the afternoon show because I was feeling better. And I would say, looking back, that 8 hours of misery, would I do what caused that? Would I do that again? And the answer is yes, I would do that again.
Mm-hmm.
I try and be a little more careful. I would remember not to, itch my nose or anything, right? But that is not, first of all, that's not what happened. You know what happened, right? That's not what happened.
Gross.
No, I just had my hands in the wrong place.
You made me sick.
No, I just had my hands in the wrong place. And she,
And then I asked you, and then you told me I couldn't believe it.
You do that. Hours later. And look, we don't know that it was her anyway. I shouldn't be blaming her.
Right.
We don't know. I could have gotten sicker.
Who else was it?
It was probably her.
Yeah.
But it
was
certainly
flu
wasn't her
season.
fault.
You don't
It was
do
flu
that.
season.
You don't do that without it leaving a mark, son.
Well, you sometimes you come out unscathed.
No,
but yeah,
you don't. You don't.
All right, we got to take a break.
It may not be physical,
if
but it'll be
anyone is
mental.
still listening, which I
You're gonna
doubt at
pay
this point anyone
a
is.
price when you do that.
We have to take a break.
Everybody's got a price.
We'll be back.
You're the one who got me the beer.
Guys,
You like to spin me up, watch me go?
I would
and
like-
then you get real upset about it when I tell the truth?
I would like
The secret truth?
to talk about our sponsors and let them get their words in so that we can stay on the air. If it wasn't for Progressive and Worlds of Fun and Jazz, a Louisiana Kitchen, we wouldn't be here.
They may not want to have been just lumped into this whole segment.
I got to cut this
Maybe
one.
like a bad time to do it.
They've been advertising here a long time. I think they're aware of what you're talking about.
The Church of Lazlo. 96.5 The Buzz.
Flashing with paparazzi involved in an incident.
These infected monkeys.
This is Headlines on the Church of Lazlo.
Hey!
Hey!
Sugar Wiener.
Yeah. All right. Headlines.
When did you become a pothead?
I don't know.
You started smoking weed all the time.
Yeah, it used to be like...
I've seen this happen before. It's not a pretty road that you want to go down.
The first time was when I tried to quit smoking in my 20s, when I did quit smoking for a few years.
Right.
My roommate smoked a ton of pot at the time, and I was like, I want to smoke something. So I smoked pot, and I was high all the time, and I was like, man, I don't like this. So I stopped.
Right.
And then for years, it became a sex thing. I smoke pot before I have sex. Help me with my confidence.
Are we about to...
No, help me with my
okay.
confidence, whatever. But then within like the last couple months or whatever, now that you got this labeled stuff and it tells Colorado, it tells you what kind it is, you know what you're getting, you get a nice mellow little buzz. Helps me sleep and stuff. I like it. It doesn't make me anxious. I'm becoming a pothead. I actually told my girlfriend, I was like, I need to go get a prescription because I forgot that you can do that, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think you can. And my doctor has told me in the past, he said to me one time, because he said, so what do you do throughout the day? How do you self-medicate? And I said something about, and then I smoke a little weed. And he goes, yeah, that helps with the anxiety. And I said, yeah, most of the time. He said, well, if I could write you a prescription for it, I would. Well, now he can, right?
I don't know.
So I should get one. What were we doing? Oh, headlines.
Yes.
Headlines. Oh, man,
Jesus,
this impeachment.
He just rambles when he's
Boy,
high.
oh, boy, this impeachment. Oh, Pepsi. What kind of donuts did you get? The Hostess?
Texas cinnamon roll.
Oh, the cinnamon rolls. I don't like those as much. So the impeachment stuff. It's this is now it really is getting interesting because you've got reports that Trump called Nancy Pelosi a couple days ago and begged her not to do this.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, those are the rumors. She says that he was like begging her to try and find a way out of this. Come on, let's solve this without the impeachment inquiry. Like he's freaking out. And I have to say, I was so kind of uninterested with this story originally because I was like, here we go again, Mueller report part 2 or whatever.
Right.
Where does this lead? If it probably helps him get reelected. I don't know. I just had my doubts about it. Now you start looking at the similarities between this and Watergate, and there's just more and more and more. So you had the whistleblower. This whole thing stems from the whistleblower saying, I saw the president do something that I think he shouldn't be doing, right? So he reports that information.
But didn't they out him already? And the whistleblower is
out
actually
him.
secondhand knowledge? Like
Yeah.
he didn't actually see it?
Well, everyone came. They all came to him, and then the New York Times kind of like partially outed him.
People were mad at the New York Times,
Yeah.
really mad, like saying, end your subscription. And then...
Like, who subscribes to the paper anymore?
And then Trump...
Well, what else?
Online.
People
you pay
are
online.
weird.
Pay online. I pay for the
Nobody's
Washington.
paying that.
I pay for the Washington Post. It's built into my
Jesus
Amazon
Christ,
thing.
like paying for porno.
It's $3 a month. I get tired of the thing saying you've hit your limits, so I pay the $3 a month.
Every other website in the world just copies and pastes.
I know. It's just easy to go through. It's $3. I like it.
Hey, support journalism,
Yeah,
boys.
I like what
Come
they're doing
on.
over there.
Come on.
They're feeding my liberal talking points. I need that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got the whistleblower, and then Trump says, first of all, the Republicans have decided their talking points is we're going to turn this whole thing around. Basically, whatever you're saying we did, you actually did. And then
I got it.
What we were really doing.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm rubber,
is
you're glue.
rubber.
I'm rubber, you're glue.
Yeah, whatever you say
bounces
about me,
off
then
me.
right, I got it.
Bounces off me, sticks
Yeah,
on
all
you.
right, yeah, I got it. All right, see, I understand the defense now.
Yep.
It's the old rubber glue
Yes,
theory.
and they're doing it.
Right, the old rubber glue defense.
Absolutely, and they are sticking with it. They're saying,
It
look,
works.
We are.
It's a tale as old as time. It's been used forever, and by the way, it's really good.
Seems to be.
It's a really good defense.
Effective.
They seem
Yeah,
to be
it is
comfortable with it.
effective.
They seem to be comfortable with it. So they're all saying, look, the Democrats were corrupt. Biden's family was corrupt. What Trump was trying to do was uncover this corruption in the
Sure.
Ukraine, which he should be doing. And that's what this president promised to do
Right,
from day
of
one,
course.
is get rid of corruption. So you guys are all liars. Go to hell. Then a story comes out that Mike Pence begged the president not to release the transcript of the phone call. That when they were having this discussion, Trump said, just release it, just release it. And there were people around him saying, I don't think you should probably release it. Because when he released it, it really added, it was like pouring gasoline on a fire for the Democrats' impeachment inquiry. It was huge news for the Democrats. So now they say Pence was telling him, please don't release the transcript. I don't think it's a good move. Trump says, I don't care. I'm releasing it. He releases the transcript. So now Pence has to go on TV and say, hey, the guy didn't do anything wrong.
The president did nothing wrong, that he had a conversation with a world leader, that he spoke about issues that were appropriate, issues related to our strong relationship with Ukraine, and it was nothing more than that.
Okay.
And on top of all
good
of
enough
this,
for me.
on top of all of this, Trump has tried to throw Pence under the bus. There's so
That's
much
good
going
enough
on
for
with
me.
it. It's so
I just
funny.
heard him. He just told you what happened.
And then Trump's talking about,
He just told you.
just told me what?
What happened? Our president had a conversation with a leader of a strategic ally of ours in another part of the country, and didn't do anything wrong.
Sure. So
That's it.
Tippy top.
So Trump says, Obviously, you know that I didn't do anything wrong. And then he's having...
Well, then he told you too.
Then he's having this little gathering with, what was it, a little fundraiser gathering? Where was he when he was being recorded?
A bunch of the reporters were there. It was like some gala or something like that.
He had to have known that he was being recorded. But he said during this, this whistleblower, what he really is a spy. And you know what we used to do to spies in the old days? That's how we used to handle it. So he essentially threatens to kill the whistleblower, saying that he thinks that the whistleblower is a spy who should be killed. It's very entertaining at this point.
What these guys are doing, Democrats are doing to this country, is a disgrace. They can't do any work. They're frozen, the Democrats. They're going to lose the election. They know it.
You know what we used to do in the old days?
What the hell's that?
So this is this recording of him, and what he just said
That's
was...
just blah, blah. We're fake news.
No. You can hear him. He says what we used to do in the old days with these spies.
The spies and treason. We used to handle it a little differently than we do now.
We used to handle that a little differently than we do now.
You missed the awkward laugh at the very end.
Oh, there's an awkward laugh.
That awkward laugh.
It's like, yay! Kill Americans.
Mr. President.
Great. Kill politicians that don't agree with you, or people who don't agree with you. Now, you know who doesn't think this impeachment should be happening? Outside of the White House, outside of old Trump supporter Lazlo here. There's one guy who says this is a bad move for America. You should not be impeaching the president right now.
John McCain. Sounds like something McCain would say. You have to give me that.
But he's dead. But
it does sound like something John McCain would say.
Sure, if he were alive, but he is not. But
sounds like John McCain, war hero.
You know who is still alive?
War hero, Vietnam.
Better watch out.
You know who
Vietnam war hero.
Watch out.
Hero. Hey, I liked McCain just fine.
Vietnam war hero.
Yes, I was a McCain fan for the most part.
Vietnam war hero.
He absolutely was. He's
okay.
a goddamn hero.
I've
never argued that.
Vietnam.
The guy was a hero.
Vietnam.
Listen, that's not who said this because he's dead. He had the brain cancer that killed him. So there is someone alive who says this impeachment shouldn't be happening, that it's bad for America, and he called into Fox to let them know, this impeachment shouldn't be happening. I'm not for it at all. And his name is Ken Starr. You may remember Ken Starr. He thought it appropriate to impeach Bill Clinton over some oral sex in the Oval Office.
Read it carefully, study, but this is not something that is to be dismissed. But it's also not something, Brian, that we jump to conclusions and start marching down impeachment road. That is a terrible mistake for our country.
Terrible mistake for our country. So there, you heard it from him, Ken Starr. No one would know better about impeachment and when it's appropriate than him. And he says, now's not the time, guys. We should not be impeaching this president. So there's your impeachment updates for now.
Well,
I mean, there's a lot more that we could talk about, but those are your...
You know Ken Starr, right?
Know him.
Very good. But besides him being in the Clinton scandal and everything, Ken Starr, all right, let me take a second because to put this all together is going to take a second. Do you remember the documentary about the Baylor basketball team?
Yes.
And
the Showtime thing or whatever?
Yes, and all the things that went on with it, and then the sexual harassment scandal afterwards and all those things. Ken Starr was the chancellor of Baylor University at that time, and he resigned from Baylor because of those allegations and that documentary.
Okay.
So,
just a little Ken Starr
because I think if you think about Ken Starr, you just think of kind of this, the
Clinton impeachment.
And you think of this guy who holds himself up to some sort of moral standard. But the truth of the matter is, watch that documentary. When they talk about the chancellor of the school, it's Ken Starr.
Yeah, well, I think of him as the Clinton impeachment guy, so I don't give him any moral high ground. I think of him kind of a douchebag. But he says we shouldn't be impeaching. Now, away from the impeachment story, a girl who goes to a Christian school has dreadlocks. She's black. This is a middle school in Virginia. She says that she was being bullied by people there a lot. She was being called ugly and things like that. And one day she comes home and her mom says, your hair looks different. What happened to your hair? And she admits she claims that 3 white boys at school had pinned her down and cut off her dreadlocks. And, of course, the family's pissed, and the girl is sad.
Where were administrators? Where were anybody to protect her from this heinous crime?
Amari is a 6th grader at the private Emmanuel Christian School in Springfield, Virginia, the place where Second Lady Karen Pence teaches. Amari tells WUSA 9 she's been bullied for weeks.
Sometimes I think that I don't deserve to
like be there at a Christian school and everything, and that I'm ugly.
Oh, man, I hate when she says that I'm ugly. She says they kept laughing and calling me names. They called me ugly and that I shouldn't have been born. They called me an attention seeker. She says the boys allegedly covered her mouth while another held her hands behind her back, and then a third took a pair of scissors and cut her dreadlocks. She says they ran off laughing, and I was just sitting there. How could you be in the hallways at any school, I don't know, Christian school, public school, whatever, as a guy, as a girl, whoever you are, just a student, if you see three guys holding a girl like that, how do you not step in? We had a kid in school who had a rat tail, and he read a lot of Star Trek paperback books. He always had them with him. And I remember his name, but I won't say it.
Related to you?
Nope. But one day, these guys chased him down the hall, and they pinned him, and one of them had a pair of scissors to cut off his rat tail. It was quite a long rat tail, and it was not really the right year for a rat tail. We're talking like, 97 or something. But anyway, someone stepped in.
Was it you?
No, it wasn't me. I was kind of...
I'm just curious, because you said, why wouldn't someone, but it wouldn't be you.
I kind of wanted those guys who were doing it to like me. I've been working on them.
So that's why people don't step in.
Yeah, there you go.
Because they're like you.
I'll tell you what. I did see a guy punch a girl that I was friends with, and he punched her just out of nowhere. Just walked up to her, punched her in the chin, and she fell to the ground. And I was scared of that guy. He's in prison now, as a matter of fact. I was scared of that guy, but I stepped in. First, I helped her up, and I talked to her, and then I took her to the administrator's office, and I told them who it was. I gave names. And not only did I give names, I gave the name of the most feared man in school, who is now in prison. And if I'll tell you why, I'll tell you off the air, because I don't want to give too many details. He's scary. He's a scary guy, and I didn't want to have to get involved, but I did. What he did was wrong, and I liked that girl, and
so you went and told someone.
I helped her up, and I said, let's go to the administrator's office, and let's tell him I was a witness to this. That's as good as like being a witness to a car crash and helping the insurance company say, yeah, it was that guy's fault. Amber Geiger, she's the one she's a cop, Dallas. She walked into what she thought was her apartment, sees a black guy sitting there, and she thinks he's an intruder, so she shoots and kills him. Turns out she was in the wrong apartment. It was dark. She was confused. Maybe she was texting. And so she walked into his apartment and she shot and killed him. She has been on trial this week. We've gotten all this new information from the prosecutors that they give to the jury, and then the media has cameras in there. Well, she was testifying today. Oh, boy. I got up early. I sat and watched her testify. But Amber, she was having a tough time. She was crying a lot. And at one point, the prosecutors and the judges said, you have to get yourself together. We cannot understand you. Like they were being like, you know what? Quit with the crying.
Pull it together.
At one point, the judge said, all right, I'll give you 10 minutes. Then when she comes back, she was still crying.
Get out of here. Gather yourself.
And the judge, she's like, all right, we'll take 10 minutes. Like she was pissed. They come back, Amber Geiger's still having a hard time recounting what happened without crying, and they're telling her, like, you got to stop crying. We can't understand you. She's very upset.
You found out when you came around that counter and shot an innocent man.
He says, you came home, you walked around that counter, and you shot an innocent man.
How do you feel about that?
How do you feel about that? I didn't know that they asked you that kind of stuff.
I feel great about it.
How do you feel about that?
No police officer ever would want to hurt an innocent person.
No police officer would want to hurt an innocent person. It was an accident. I have to live with it every day of my life. She's really saying this was an accident. I walked into what I thought was my apartment, and I got scared because I thought there was an intruder. The big question remaining for jurors and everyone is, did you announce, hands up, freeze, I'm a cop? Did you tell him, get your hands in the air, police, do some sort of normal protocol, or did you just shoot to kill? And they asked her, they said, did you shoot to kill? And she said, yes. And they said, where are you trained to shoot? And she said, in center mass, shoot him in the chest, shoot him in the stomach and the chest. She's like, that's what we're trained to do, and that's what I did. So the big question is, did she even give the guy an opportunity to put his hands down and say, what are you doing? This is my apartment. You're in the wrong apartment.
Why would you do that anyway, though?
Right.
I don't understand why that's a question. Mm-hmm. At least, if nothing else, even if you thought you went into the wrong house, that's you manslaughter.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
There is. If you came into my house and said freeze,
right?
Why?
Absolutely, I agree. But
raise your hands.
Why?
No.
Yeah, I know.
You could be anyone. I'm going to run around to the other side of the room and see if I can get my gun.
No, you're right.
Like, they're like, oh, that question is an irrelevant question.
You're right.
It doesn't matter whether she said it or not, because his response doesn't matter.
You're right. That's
however he responds to that is how he responds to that. He's in his house. He's in his house, and it's the right response.
Yeah, like what
if
the
he
hell?
says screw you and does a barrel roll and grabs a gun and shoots her twice in the head, that's a fair response. You're in my house.
Castle doctrine, right?
Right.
And you had no reason to be here.
No reason. So just because she says, police, raise your hands, no. I don't know who the hell you are.
Maybe this is something, I don't know why, but I do believe that this was an accident. It's obviously gross incompetence or whatever it is. And she should be in a lot of trouble for it. A guy lost his life. But I think people are looking at this as, you got all this, the years and years and years of the black community saying, hey, we're being treated unfairly by police. And white people say, are you? Then suddenly everyone has cameras and they go, here you go. Here's some proof, dip S's. We've been harassed constantly for stuff that you wouldn't believe, for stuff that you would never get harassed for. Now you have a woman who actually walks into a black man's home and shoots him because she thinks he's an intruder. That's the ultimate headline, right? The ultimate headline with everything going on with police brutality, the ultimate headline is you can't even be black in your own home.
Exactly.
It's the ultimate headline. But while it makes a great headline, I do think what she did was just a really, really, really stupid thing. She should be in a lot of trouble for it. But I do think it is different than, I think it's different than if she were on the street, saw a black guy that she thought was suspicious and said, show me your hands or whatever, and he didn't do it fast enough and she shot him. I would think that makes her a worse person than who she is now for what she did.
Because it depends on what happened.
Yeah,
if she really did think she was in the wrong house, then accidents do happen, but you don't get to just pull a gun and shoot someone in the chest by mistake.
No, you don't. Absolutely.
Apparently in this country you do.
Well, absolutely in this situation should
but
not.
You don't. That's not a thing. A thing isn't, oh man, sorry. You get to dump coffee on someone on accident.
Yeah.
That's what you get to do. You don't get to shoot people in the chest on accident.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether you thought you were in the right place or the wrong place or what. None of this, I don't need to hear anymore.
You're right.
Did you walk into this apartment? Was it yours?
You're right.
No. All right, well, whose was it? It was this other guy's. And then what happened?
I killed him.
I shot him and he died. I don't need to hear more.
You're right.
Now, give me the details and I will figure out exactly what I think your punishment needs to be.
Yeah.
There are levels of gray in that.
Right.
But there is no level of gray of if you are innocent. You're not innocent.
Oh, no, sorry. And if I implied
There's no accident
If I implied
here.
in any way that I thought there was a chance that she was innocent of something, no. She is at least guilty of killing an innocent man, which is a high crime.
Right.
It's the ultimate betrayal of our social contract, especially considering that she walked into his home while he is minding his own business and shot and killed him. The question is she a threat to society? What is the punishment? When you put people in prison and you say life without parole, sometimes that's just straight punishment, but it usually says we also think you're a threat to society, and we don't ever want you back out on the streets because there's people who would feel uncomfortable with you out on the streets 40 years from now. Is her situation different? Do you give her 20 years instead?
I don't know. Maybe I don't even know that you give her 20. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
But figure it out.
If they give her like
there's
5 years.
a punitive time for her to go to prison.
Yes. If they gave her 5 years in prison, real federal prison, no chance of parole, 5 full years, would you see that and say, okay, knowing what I've read about this, maybe I'm okay with that?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. See,
Yeah.
I'm saying that I do think she's different than the person who is sitting in prison for life without any chance of parole because of the things he or she's done. I think she's different.
I think she's different.
She did a really dumb thing, and I think part of it also is that she's a cop, so she's always got the gun on her. You're always kind of ready, right? You're like an attack dog waiting for someone, waiting for a threat.
But the fact that they're even talking about this, what did you do? What did you say? To me,
yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. No, she walked into a guy's house and killed him.
Right, that's what happened.
An innocent guy. She walked into his home.
I don't care what she said.
When we lived in Seattle, that apartment complex.
So the real question is, do I believe she walked into that apartment thinking it was hers?
Right.
If I believe that, then she gets less of a sentence than walking into his apartment thinking it was his and killed him.
Right.
That's the only thing I need to figure out in this case. That's it. Everything else doesn't matter.
I agree.
What she said, he said, doesn't matter. Do I believe you walked into that apartment? So I understand why they said, here's the red mat. Mm-hmm. Didn't she notice that? Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, well, I want to know.
Yeah.
I do want to know that because the only thing I need to know in this case, period, is did you think it was your apartment?
Yes, you're right.
Because I know what happened.
And I believe that she didn't think it was her apartment. And I don't know.
That she didn't think it was her apartment?
Or that she thought it was her apartment.
Me too.
I believe her. And that's what I'm saying. And I think some people would say, oh, well, now you're apologizing for her. I'm not. What she did, like Lazlo said, It is very cut and dry. She killed an innocent man in his home. But I do believe that she thought she was in her apartment. When we lived in Seattle, that apartment I lived above the bank in Capitol Hill, you got on the elevator, it was like 5 stories or whatever. I lived on the top floor. I got off the elevator one day, and when you get off the elevator at that apartment complex, this place in Dallas where she lived, just looking at it, it reminded me of my old apartment complex. But when you would get off the elevator at my apartment complex, you didn't have a hallway. You had this little balcony that went along the side of the building, and there were apartments. So it was just like a motel.
Sure.
You're outside. I got off on the wrong floor one day, and mine, you took a right and you walked all the way down to the end of this balcony, and that was mine. Mine was the door at the end because I was in the corner. I actually opened the door and walked in, and I thought, this is not my apartment. Oh, my God. I immediately closed the door. It was unlocked. I immediately closed the door, and I ran upstairs, and I told my girlfriend, I just walked in the wrong apartment.
Right.
So I do believe that can happen. I've actually done it. And so all I'm saying is that I believe that she thought she was in her apartment, and what she did after that was unforgivable.
I'd like to hear, the stories. Somebody just texted in and said that guy was her ex-lover.
This guy was?
Yeah.
I saw one of those rumors once, but I also saw the stuff that she was texting this other guy. I think some people may be confusing her texting this other guy from work or whatever. But if it turns out that they did have an actual
If they had any sort of connection, then it's all over. All bets are off. Right. So, and by the way, somebody just keeps texting in, she should never be a cop again. Yeah. Well, yeah. I just said she should go to prison for a minimum of 5 years.
Yeah, and she should have a felony on her record forever.
Right.
Yeah. The GM strike.
Yes.
Our union buddies, walked out of a bunch of GM plants, thousands and thousands of workers walking out. They were trying to get their negotiation or their contracts negotiated, and a big part of it was health care. And one of the things GM had wanted to do was raise the cost of their health care a little bit, maybe shift some of that burden to the union. There was some back and forth. Well, guess what? Boom, baby. GM has said they are going to give you guys your health care. Congratulations.
Good for you.
New details in the GM worker strike. The company says it will provide those striking workers with health insurance now. That's after GM said it would cut off coverage to United Auto Workers union members who have been striking for nearly 2 weeks. That decision was criticized. Now the company says its top priorities are workers' health and well-being.
All right. So congratulations on your strike there, UAW. And for some reason, I don't know why, this is it. Under the weird category, put this as isn't that weird news, okay? There's a school that accidentally played, or maybe purposefully played, the Star-Spangled Banner during some football game festivities.
Okay.
But the version they played was Roseanne's national anthem from 1990 or whatever it was.
Can you sing?
Remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they play this Roseanne Barr screeching rendition.
Why?
And I don't know. And it said it surprised spectators at these games. And they're like, why is this playing? It says the News Journal of Wilmington reports that the school district apologized Wednesday for the shock served at the high school's Tuesday game against Milford High. A letter from the superintendent says pregame proceedings will be improved to spike future occurrences and the lapse in being investigated. I love the idea that someone said we need a Star-Spangled Banner, pull one up online. So if they typed in Star-Spangled Banner or National Anthem, maybe they even Googled live or something, I like to think that the top result that comes up is Roseanne screeching.
Right, and they just did it, just played it. And someone at the high school has no idea who Roseanne is.
Right. I mean, she's not relevant to them at all.
Here's somebody singing the national anthem. Just play that.
Looks like she can sing to me.
Right.
So this is interesting. I mean, did you play with G.I. Joe dolls when you were a kid?
Yeah, sure.
They were all Army related, you know.
They'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there.
It's here, the G.I. Joe collection. Infantry trooper, codename Grunt. Bazooka soldier, codename Zap. Mortar soldier, codename Short Fuse. Laser rifle trooper, codename Flash. Ranger, codename Stalker.
They taught us to be really aggressive, didn't they?
Yeah, so?
As boys, like really aggressive. Codename Ass Kicker.
Yeah.
Codename Shut the F Up.
Right.
Codename, like, Jesus
What's wrong with
Christ,
that? I like it.
Really aggressive. Well, anyway, it turns out, I guess we're just discovering this, that for more than a decade, the U.S., this country, used drones and satellites and spies and informants and tracking devices all together to try and thwart Al-Qaeda in Pakistan. That's not a surprise, right? Of course, we were trying to shut them down. The new information is that the CIA also set in motion a plan to wage war with toys. And I kind of liked this idea because here's the out. Beginning in 2005, the agency began developing a custom-made Osama bin Laden action figure. This is according to sources. The faces were painted with a heat-dissolving material designed to peel off and reveal a red-faced bin Laden who looks like a demon.
Okay.
He looks just like the guy from Star Wars is what he looks like, but Darth Maul or whatever, with piercing green eyes and black facial markings. The goal was simply to frighten people, causing them to turn away from the actual bin Laden, to associate him with this evil person. The code name for this project was Devil Eyes, and to create them, the CIA turned to one of the best minds in the toy business, according to sources. It says the toy maker was Donald Levine, a former Hasbro executive. He developed G.I. Joe action figures. And so he went to work for them and said, I can make these dolls, and here's what they look like. You want to see their faces? So when it dissolves, he looks like, Darth Maul.
And you would just buy
I think they were just going to drop them off, try and give them out, try and, get them into people's hands.
Got it.
So they would have these Osama bin Laden dolls, and then they'd associate them with being
had
evil.
one of those.
Me too. What do you think that thing's worth?
A lot.
A lot of money. A lot of money. And when I was a little kid, I was real scared of Saddam. You were at war. It was around that time.
Yeah.
So you were at war. I was a little kid, and I was real scared about what was going on. On the news and everything, they made it sound like Saddam was saying, like, there's a chance he could do some damage.
Sure.
And I remember sitting in the bathtub, and I would pretend like I had a miniature Saddam Hussein, and I was torturing him. I would do that. I'm like, no, I'm going to drown you, you son of a bitch. And I would fantasize about what it would be like.
How old were you?
Like 8 or 9. And I fantasized about what it would be like if the government could just shrink him down and let me basically bitch slap him in the bathtub. This is a fantasy I had as a kid, was that I'd have this little Saddam Hussein that I could, because I was scared of him, and I guess that's how I dealt with it. So I kind of like the idea of the little Osama bin Laden doll. I think as a kid I would have played with that.
People are texting in their code names for you.
Okay.
They have, the first one was codename Big Russ.
Okay. Codename Big Russ.
The next one is codename Sock Arms.
Codename. No, I like Sock Hands. Codename Sock Hands. That's good.
Those are the code names for you.
Those are good.
Those
are good. I can't deny that. So all this fear about vaping, kids getting sick, lung disease, a couple people have died. Massachusetts said no more vaping at all, of any kind, of any sort. We're going to take a 4-month break from this. We got to figure out what the hell's going on. New York says no more flavors. Forget about it. We think you're trying to get kids to vape. Juul says, all right, we're firing our CEO and we're going to stop advertising in the United States. No more commercials on TV and stuff for a while. Everyone's, because they're afraid they're going to get completely banned everywhere. And as this story proceeds, more people do more investigations, and they keep coming up with this one thing. And that is, most of these kids, if not potentially all of them, were vaping marijuana, possibly out of a Juul device. You can, people will sell you a Juul pod that's actually filled with marijuana. I don't know if they use syringes, how the hell they get it in there. And people will buy that. And these bootlegged versions of marijuana pods are poisonous. They're poisonous, and they have poison in them. And they think there's a good chance that these kids that got sick, well, one thing they all may have had in common is that they used bootleg marijuana vaping liquid.
Do you know for sure that it was actually a legitimate product?
I do believe that I was given black market stuff, and I do believe that had an effect on me.
Fabian says his lungs were slowly beginning to shut down. He ended up in the emergency room.
So these tests are showing that this bootleg marijuana is tainted with hydrogen cyanide. That's what they're finding in these tests. They've commissioned these laboratory tests of knockoff marijuana vapes, and they found this pesticide linked to hydrogen cyanide in 10 out of 10 products. In all of them that they tested, these bootleg marijuana things, they found this poison in all of them. So, meanwhile, they're making it hard to get my Juul pods, but it looks like it may have been marijuana all along. So, watch out for this.
Man, I love these code names, man.
I want to hear more.
Well, I do like this one. Says, well, you're in the bathroom torturing Saddam. Well, Lazlo was in the bathroom sodomizing your mother.
Hey, he was on a boat.
And he spelled it Saddam, so I thought Saddamizing.
Lazlo was in the Middle East, all right?
Codename Geisha Guy.
How do we even bring that back? That was one time in 2003.
Codename Silky Nylons.
Silky Nylons are like shiny legs. Codename Shiny Legs.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'll come up with
Codename, let's go tell the principal.
Oh, you guys. I knew you'd give me crap for that. That was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do.
I just did that
little
on my
girl,
own. Nobody even texted that one in. That was mine for you.
That little girl didn't even speak English. You said that?
Yeah.
And tried to blame it on the text line? What a dick. You bullied me through the text line fakely, falsely. That is a new low for you.
Codename Juicebox.
Juicebox is all right. I was surprised that hadn't already come in.
Codename Sugar Pickle.
Sugar Pickle. I've never even heard that. Sugar Wiener I've heard plenty of times. I like codename Sock Hands because I really like the idea of my toy having socks on his hands.
Codename Hip Hop Pig.
Codename Hip Hop Pig. And then my J. Joe has really baggy shorts on that my mom made.
Codename Lady Penis.
Okay, guys. Now we're being, I think we're taking it too far. A little too far. All right, no such thing. Here we go. A skydiver dies after crashing into a truck. And when I say he crashed into a truck, he crashed.
Codename Sexy Mom.
That's not even funny. Dude, you are high. That's not even funny.
I'm not high.
Sexy Mom.
I had like 14 ounces of beer.
Sexy Mom made you laugh that hard? Dude, you are an easy target with the mom stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Really easy target. It is like your kryptonite. You cannot help but laugh. You just say the word Bonnie, and boom, there he goes. He's rubbing his eyes. I mean, I don't know what.
Codename Sexy
Nothing
Mom.
I can say. Nothing I can say. A skydiver died, folks. If you're a skydiver, pay attention. I know a lot of you are.
Oh, codename Canned Rabbit.
This skydiver, according to officials, died.
Codename Santa Caligon.
I'll take that. But then how do you dress me up?
Like that Juggalo,
Okay,
man.
that's true. You could dress me up like a Juggalo.
Like everybody who goes to that.
All right, now you're...
hellhole
Whoa. I will not let you do that. You know I won't let you do that.
Codename Lemon Party.
I won't let you disparage Independence or Santa Caligon days. There's good
That's
people,
a
man.
hellhole.
Dude, it's salt of the earth. There's good people there. It's a cool downtown. It's a nice city.
Nothing good there.
It's a nice city. You've
I'm not saying the
decided it's
city's
not nice.
bad.
I'm saying it's cool.
Santa Caligon days is gross.
I'm saying if I bought you a house in an old neighborhood right by where they have Santa Caligon days, you would be shocked.
I would not go to Santa Caligon
You would be
days.
shocked at how much you get along with your neighbors.
Maybe I
how
would, but
nice
I would not go to
everybody
Santa
is.
Caligon days.
And I think you'd find yourself walking over to Santa Caligon days and realizing this is a fun time. Good for the kids. Good for me. Good to get out of the house. Good for the neighborhood.
Not this carnival, Dad. Not this carnival.
A skydiver has died after crashing into a truck. Officials say this skydiver hit a truck like on the top of the trailer for a tractor trailer. So you got this big Peterbilt 18-wheeler, and he's got a tractor or a trailer on it, and this skydiver crashed into the top of this thing. Now, apparently, these skydivers have this landing pad that is directly next to this really busy highway. And people have said for years, man, these skydivers come in awfully close over these cars, and a lot of them are trying to do tricks and stuff. And one of the truck drivers who saw this happen said, I'm not surprised that it happened at all.
I'm on 99 almost weekly.
Rick Costa has lived in San Joaquin County for years and drives this stretch of 99 for his car hauling business. He says he's thought having divers jump so close to the highway was never a good idea.
Not very safe because the way that they do it, they actually fly over the freeway and then come back to the grass where they land. It's a weird place to have the drop zone, I would say.
Wow.
Okay, now, Lazlo, I just want you to take a look at a picture here. That's the truck that he hit. See that hole there? That's where he landed. Now, I am speculating right now. I'm just telling you what I saw. They didn't say anything about this specifically. But on the news footage that I watched about this story, they showed like police, some sort of official people in uniforms carrying boxes that looked like, you know, like if you get fired and they say gather your things and you put it in one of those office boxes and you carry it out to your car. That's the kind of boxes they were carrying out. And I couldn't help but wonder, is that person's body in pieces? Like, did it fall apart in the truck and they're taking it out in boxes?
Listen to the story anymore.
Okay.
Codename Pringle Can Hands.
I don't even get it.
Codename might be a gray.
I get the dispersion, but I don't think that it's a good, like it doesn't fit.
Codename Binky Baker.
Okay, he could wear a Binky Baker shirt, I guess.
Codename Football Roller.
I wish we had video of that game. I would have been MVP.
Man.
I was MVP during that game.
Codename Backseat.
Six touchdowns.
Backseat Wanker.
Mm-hmm. You ready? Now you ready to move on?
Well, there's Penis Puppeteer, Poopy Purse, Scarlet Fever.
Codename Scarlet Fever is not bad. It's almost like a superpower. I survived it. I can't get it again.
Meth Gator.
Meth kid. That's pretty good.
I like this one. Code name, Lucille Ball.
So stupid, but I love it. And I've got like a little hair thing on.
Oh, man, I love people coming up with your war code names.
G.I. Joe names. They're G.I. Joe names.
Oh.
I like it.
Code name Cape.
Code name what?
Like the Cape.
The Cape? It's Cape. I never said the Cape. Lazlo said the Cape.
Man.
I said Cape because that's what people call it. By the way, I just hung out with some people from Cape, Lake of the Ozarks.
Code name Otter.
And they said that it is called Cape. That's what everyone calls it.
Code name Norovirus.
All right, let's move on. A baggage handler has been arrested after...
Code name Jelly Shoes.
A baggage handler has been arrested after $300,000
Man,
went
people
missing.
know a lot about you, man.
Yeah, I know. I don't have anything left. I'm telling you. I sit at home at night and I think, I don't know what to talk to anybody about.
Code name Oh Daddy.
Yeah. It's like I can't have friends. No one wants to be around me because they know they're just going to get talked about.
Oof.
It's out there.
There's
It's
millions
out there.
of them. People, thank you.
I
Code
just-
name Penis Show. I mean, the list just keeps going.
I made a choice. I decided I would rather just embarrass myself every day publicly for 18 years than sit in a cubicle and do actual work. And there is a price that you pay for it. Family get-togethers are a little weird when you run into cousins and stuff that you've talked about and they see you. It changes everything. No one really wants to be around you, but we're still here. Right?
Yeah, we're still here.
Can I do the next story now?
Please.
Okay.
If I come up with any more great code names,
But
I'll let you know.
can you hold them until the story's done? I'll make it quick. That way we just get through it.
Sure.
All right. A baggage handler has been arrested after $300,000 went missing at Kennedy Airport. Delta Airlines
Fiberglass ass cheeks.
That makes no sense.
We went up in the attic and masturbated.
And sat in the fiberglass. Yeah. Jesus, people do know a lot about me.
Fiberglass ass cheeks.
God, man, I should prep more stuff for us to talk about so I don't just end up telling you every deep dark secret. So Delta Airlines
Code name Dury Vision.
What if you minimized it for a second, then we went back in?
Okay, all right. I'm done.
Delta Airlines baggage handler has been arrested for $300,000 in cash that went missing Wednesday at Kennedy International Airport, authorities say. This is according to Fox News. Quincy Thorpe was arrested on Thursday in Brooklyn, and he got released on an $80,000 bail after appearing in court. But here's the thing. Coworkers told the police that this guy, he's 40 years old, went home sick at the time of the theft, said he wasn't feeling good, and leaves. The money was supposed to be part of this shipment on a flight from New York to Miami that was supposed to that did land Wednesday morning. But when the plane got there, the cash was missing. So they arrest this guy. They go to his house. But the problem is they still don't have the money. Whatever he did with it, it seems like they're pretty confident that he's the one that took it, but they can't find it, and he's denying. Okay.
Federal authorities in New York City say a Delta baggage handler is the culprit behind a massive cash heist at JFK Airport. Police arresting 40-year-old Quincy Thorpe at his home in Brooklyn early this morning, but the more than $250,000 they say he took still missing.
He's denying it. They searched his home, they searched his car, they didn't find anything.
So this shipment, Lazlo, was a bunch of bags, like suitcases, filled with cash, I guess, okay? I don't know what the total was, but they think that he swiped one of these bags while it was being transported into this armored truck, okay? So he's accused of snagging one of the bags. Then the loss is detected when the plane lands in Florida. They go, wait a second, we're short a bag. Let's go back to the airport where this thing got loaded up, right? It says, quote, the alleged actions of this employee are unacceptable and in no way reflect the professionalism and values we expect from Delta team members. We are taking the situation very seriously and working directly with authorities on their investigation as well as conducting internal investigation of our own. So they must have video footage of this guy snagging it because they have cameras on baggage handlers all the time because they've been accused of stealing things over the years lots and lots of times. So they keep an eye on them everywhere they are. They must have some pretty solid evidence that this is the guy that snagged the bag, but they arrest him, they go to his house, they can't find the cash. And my question for you is, if you stole, because I'm going to assume that he stole it and he's hidden it. Right. He stole $300,000. He hides it. They can't find the cash. No victim, no case. Usually. Sometimes it is, but usually. Sure. So if they can't find the cash, and this isn't a murder situation, this is missing cash. If they can't find the cash, they're not going to take him to trial and put him in prison without finding the cash, right? So,
but he can never go get it. That's the problem.
That's the thing. If they say, all right, We can't find the cash. We
They're
can't
never
charge
going to
him.
say that.
We can't charge him. Well, they just say, like, why is
They're
that
just
going
going
to
to
court?
keep saying it's an open case. They're
Yeah.
going to keep looking into it. They're never going to say we're done.
And that's the thing. So, like, no matter how many years he waits, they're going to have eyes on him. If he doesn't, get arrested and go to jail, they are going to have eyes on him all the time. And I was imagining what it would be like to be in his situation and know that there's 300 gur buried somewhere and they're watching me. I really think I would try and come up with an elaborate plan to get one of my friends to, go over there and get the money while they're not watching. We think we know the guys that are watching.
They're going to be listening to you.
They're in that Buick across the street.
There's no way.
You can't tap my
It'd
house.
be worse. You'd be better off not having the $300,000.
How hard are they going to look for $300,000 though? $300,000 in the big scheme of things for these people is not probably worth sending all these cops to watch them. That's why I said it's not a murder case. That you expect the detectives to kind of follow the suspect around and get some evidence, get some DNA, prove that it's him, whatever. But this is missing cash and it's $300,000. I think there's a chance that if he hit it and they can't find it and they say, all right, we can't charge this guy, we can't find the goddamn money. I think there's a chance that he could spend that money. I'm rooting for him.
No, I'm rooting for him too.
I'm rooting for him.
I just feel like all these people now looking for it.
I know.
And now you can't ever use it. You're better off having $300,000 less. That's what sucks.
Yeah, I know. Now
because now you can't sleep at night and you can't get the goddamn money.
And you could go to jail and the whole deal. It's not a good situation. Did you see that this mom left her kid in the shopping cart at Walmart in Arkansas?
No.
She's facing charges for this. She left her baby in a shopping cart outside Walmart and then she just drove off. And it's still not clear if she did it on purpose or what, but police did find prescription pills on her. They felt that necessary to tell us. I don't know if the prescription pills were her prescriptions or not, but for some reason the police wanted us to know that they found these prescription pills. Luckily, there's a guy there with his mom at Walmart, and he sees this baby sitting in a cart, takes the baby, puts it in the car, turns on the air conditioning, makes sure that the baby is comfortable, and calls the police and says, there's a baby here.
Kind of went into panic mode, and I was just like, is this really happening? Me and my mom just went normally grocery shopping like we always do, and coming out to load the car, and I noticed something was a little off in the distance. I tried chasing her down, but I didn't get to her in time. My mom took the baby into the car, put the AC on and everything like that for it, and ended up calling the police.
We're not really sure what she was thinking. We're not sure if it was intentional or what it was.
So I would hope that if this happens, then anybody would do the right thing, which is definitely notify the police.
Yeah, definitely don't just leave the baby sitting there in the cart. I mean, if anyone walks by and sees an abandoned baby sitting in a cart and doesn't do anything, I think that's about as bad as leaving your own kid in the car, on purpose. I mean, that's bad. You see a baby sitting there, you got to help. So he did the right thing, got him in the car, turned on the AC, called the cops, and the woman was found, and she has now been arrested.
Okay, good.
Then finally, an update. We can end with this.
Christ.
This is an update to a weird one.
Codename Diva Cup.
Do you remember when we were doing a lot of Florida stories there for a couple weeks? I was trying to end on a Florida story every day. One of the Florida stories was about a couple of guys getting in a fight over some garbage. There was some heavy trash pickup out in the street. These guys were going through it. One of the things was this big blue wheelbarrow type of thing, or like a trash can. It was filled with stuff, and he wanted it. Well, then the other guy wanted it too. And the first guy says, well, it's mine. His name's Curtis. And he thought that he had rights to this bulk trash that he's trying to pick up. But this other person sees it and runs and chases him and attacks him with a sword. That was the big story. There was video footage, and I think I showed you this at the time, from someone's house where this guy grabs a samurai sword and starts to try and attack the guy over the garbage. Okay?
Okay.
Now, we talked about this when it happened.
Samurai sword.
Yeah, and that was the end of the story then.
They were going to split his head open.
I know. Well, luckily, no one was seriously hurt. And now we have found out that wasn't garbage. It belonged to a woman. She was cleaning the garage or whatever and set some stuff out. And she's like, that's not even for you. That's mine. She got it back. So she got it back, and the guy with the sword did get arrested. So they found the guy. He got arrested. Man, I feel like that story, when they initially got in that fight, was back in June or July. Why can't I hear anything?
All right.
I saw a cart in the pile, and I thought I could use that. And when he pulled out the sword, I thought, what am I doing? I couldn't believe that he was going to try to kill me for a cart. I should have just let him have the cart.
So there you go. He wishes he hadn't fought over it in the first place. Luckily, no one was seriously injured, like I said, and the guy with the sword was arrested, apprehended, and now we see his mugshot. He really wanted that garbage can, man. Really wanted it. There's your Florida update!
Nice.
Baby! You're still looking at G.I. Joe names this whole time.
I am. There's some that are good. Invited to block party 3 times.
Okay.
I think my favorite, though, it's not that funny, but it sounds like it could actually be a G.I. Joe code name. Code name, Reluctant Swinger.
Okay.
I did like that one.
That's not bad. As you're telling me this, and I realize how much people know about me, I was trying to think, is there something I could tell you right now that you don't know about me? Is there something I could tell you that I've never told that you don't know about me? Like, do I have anything left? Any secrets, just any little quirks, something that's happened in my life, something that I've done, been a part of, that I haven't told you about?
No.
I cannot think of one.
There are. I guarantee you there are. Sometimes there's been
head.
times where I've found out things about you.
That you thought I underplayed?
No, through other means.
Yeah.
And then are you thinking of the one that I'm thinking about right now? And I walked up to you at the picnic table and I was like, hey, you been to this place recently? And you just started laughing and you were like,
threesome.
all right, man, you got me.
Yeah. I was
all right, you got me.
I was a little embarrassed about that. But you found out. And
I did.
Even if it was something I was like, man, I'm kind of embarrassed about that. I'm going to keep that a secret. You find out anyway.
Find out, yeah.
So there's really
code name Brother Father.
Someone can just tweet at you at any time and say, Slim Fast is here right now.
Boom.
Here's a picture. I know where he is. So if he says he's somewhere else, he's lying to you. I'm going to try and think of something. I know we're going to open up mail here in a bit, and there's actually a couple songs I'm real excited about.
Okay.
But I'm going to try and think of something I could tell you that I've never told you before. I'm going to rack my brain. There's definitely stuff in there.
Well, I didn't know that you tortured Osama bin Laden dolls in the bathtub.
I've actually told you that before, years and years and years ago, that I had this little bathtub
to try to like make me and you feel like we're on the same page. While I was at war, you were at war as well. You were in the bathtub.
I was like supporting you. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Through your bathtub.
Moral support. I supported your effort. I wanted you to take him down. I was scared of him. George Bush said he was going to kill us. I was real scared of him. I thought he was pure evil. When you're a little kid, it's easy to think like that. I said, this guy's bad. I want him gone. And I was hoping you guys would get him. And I take it so far that when they actually did, when W did kill Saddam, and they showed those pictures of him, because I was fed all that propaganda at such a young age, this is my theory at least, when they found him, I was like, hell yeah. I'm usually not that person.
That's good, though.
But I was like, yeah. And like I bought the newspaper that showed the picture of him that said, Saddam captured, and the picture of that hole there and everything. I bought that newspaper. I was like, way to go, guys. Good job. You got the mother.
Code name, Whore Night.
Whore Night. I don't even know what that means. You'd have to rack my brain, jog my memory. Whore Night?
Friday night.
Oh, Horror Night. Yeah, Horror Night. Okay. I thought we were talking about something to do with my open marriage.
The Church of Lazlo on 96.5 The Buzz.
I should have turned our mics on. Sorry.
You are so high right now.
No, I was looking at Red Hot Chili
you're
Peppers.
Really
I
high.
am a little bit, but I was thinking, like, could you imagine if you heard Red Hot Chili Peppers for the first time today?
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
It'd be fun. You take it for granted because you're like, I've heard Other Side before.
Right.
I saw on TV or maybe on YouTube, The Adventures of Rain Dance Maggie. And I knew that I kind of liked that song, but then I was watching the video and I was like, God damn, these guys are good, man. They're really good. And the fact that they were doing that stuff in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty crazy. So I think I thought of something to tell you that maybe I've never told you. But there's a good chance.
Exciting.
There's a good chance.
I have something to tell you that I've never told you.
Okay.
Look out there.
Yeah. We shouldn't talk like that.
Why?
We should talk like that off here. We shouldn't talk about that right now. Yeah. Can you figure out who it is?
No.
Okay, listen.
But you are in love with her, right?
Listen. I got a
You're
secret
in love with her,
for
right?
I got a secret for you.
But I got a secret.
Lazlo, you cannot talk like that in 2019. Cannot.
I'm just saying I'm looking at a person.
I don't know who that person is, though.
Me either.
That person could
but
work
that person
for us.
looks perfect for...
That person could work for us.
Okay.
I don't know.
But they're perfect for you, right?
They're very nice.
Like when you describe like your perfect person, that's it.
She looks very nice. Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not
She's very
crossing
pretty.
any line.
Yeah, she's very, very
2019
pretty.
or 1955. I'm not crossing any line.
She's very pretty.
You describe your perfect woman. She just walked by us.
She would walk out of the creation lab or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Good for you.
So here you go. Here's my thing. And you may tell me that I've told you this before. But, all right, I have 3 older brothers. And I'm real close with the oldest and second oldest, right?
Yes.
And the third brother and I, we get along and we love each other, but we don't talk as much. For a long time, we didn't talk really at all. We had a bad relationship. Once I got into high school, we started to kind of find some common ground. He could talk to me about stuff that was going on in high school or whatever. I think he thought, oh, okay, he's a teenager. I can relate a little bit. That's what I used to think. But when we were little kids, it was just the two of us because our two older brothers had moved out of the house.
Right.
So my youngest brother, who is 8 years older than me, to make this clear, he is older than me, but he's my youngest brother. The two of us go to church on a Sunday, okay? We come back from church, and I break something in the house. My parents find out that this tchotchke is broken. I blame my older brother. They believe me, and my older brother gets punished severely.
Okay.
And I watched from my bedroom. I looked out, I peeked my head out down the hallway, and I watched him get punished severely.
What does that mean?
And he got punished.
How, like, hard?
Pretty bad. Like, nowadays, they would say, you can't do that. Right?
Okay.
Like, he was getting punished. And so I felt really bad.
Because you did it.
I absolutely did it, and I knew that I did it. And he is also kind of in shock. Like, why? Why are you mad at me, right?
Did you ever tell him?
Why are you yelling at me? Yeah, he knew. He knew that they said, Reed said he saw you do it. That's me.
Oh.
I'm Reed. He saw you do it, whatever. And I think that incident was the reason, that was the beginning of he and I having kind of a strained relationship. Where I think he thought, I don't trust you. I don't like you. You are that little brother that gets me in trouble. You are that brother who's a little pain in the ass. You are that little brother who instigates and tries to get me going. You know what? I'm done with you. And I think that was the beginning of us having kind of a different relationship.
Okay, can I tell you something now?
Have I ever told you that before? That I watched him?
Like 3 times.
Damn, okay.
In our 17 years, like 3 or 4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
That he got in trouble on it.
Yeah, and then and then you didn't say anything, and that may be why he doesn't like you. I've heard that same story.
Damn. All right.
Like 3 or 4 times.
I should have told you that when he puked up Cheez-Its, I guess, but you probably heard that too.
No, maybe not.
No? So my brother, same brother, hurts his toe. He stubs his toe and breaks his nail. Okay.
Okay.
He goes running into the bathroom, and my mom goes in there to help him clean it up and bandage it up, and it's bleeding all over. And the bathroom, our old house in Hickman Mills, the bathroom was right across from my bedroom. So I'm looking in the bathroom, and I'm seeing, man, he was a big dude by that point. He's probably like 12 or something, and he was a big guy. So he is bleeding profusely from his toe, and he starts telling my mom, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. I haven't told you this?
No, I don't.
So he says, I'm going to puke. And she goes, you're not going to puke. Stop. And he goes, I really think I'm going to puke. And he's trying to get her to move, and he's telling her he's going to puke. And she's saying, you're not going to puke. Let me clean up your toe. And he pukes all over her and all over the floor. I think he just ate a bunch of Cheez-Its or something, what it looked like, okay? And she gets super pissed.
Because he puked?
Yeah, because he just threw up, and he's like, I told you I was going to throw up. And I was like, oh, man, you got in trouble for something that you couldn't help and that you warned her you were going to do, right? It was amazing. I watched the whole thing unfold, man. I'm like 7 years old or 6 years old.
Did you love it?
Just sitting there. It was like better than any reality show you could ever see. Here's my big brother. He's crying. He's bleeding. And then he's saying, I'm going to yak. I'm going to yak. And Mom's saying, no, you're not.
Yacked all over, like on her face?
All over her, all over the floor. It was disgusting. It was horrible.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard that.
All right. That's a story you've never heard. All right. What do you say?
I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
No,
your brother
it's not.
puked. I mean, every kid pukes
There's
on their
a
parents
reason,
at some point.
but it's worth telling if you're looking for
like if you ate too many
something
Cheez-Its,
to tell.
I guess.
Or if you stubbed your toe and you were bleeding and you thought, oh, I feel sick, then I would tell you that story. Oh, my brother got sick one time when he stubbed his toe.
Yeah, but right now.
I know, but look, I'm telling you, that's how hard it is for me to try and find one of those things that I have never told you. So there you go.
People are saying you've actually told that story on the air before.
About the puke?
Yeah.
Damn, man. I
just don't remember. I could just...
Yeah, there's so many things. I guess I'm out of stuff. Church parking lot, all that stuff that comes up, the dog, naked with the dog. All of it, I think all of it's been told. Mom thought I was trying to pee on the dog. I've told these stories. Under the bed, being molested 6 different times.
Molested.
Well, hey, you're the one who told me I was molested, okay?
You had sex with a hot chick.
I told you that I felt guilty about what I'd done, and you said to me, you didn't do anything, man. You have got to stop this. You are a victim.
I didn't say...
You're a victim.
Wait, that's where I stopped.
No, yeah, but you said I was a victim.
I didn't stop at victim.
You said you were molested,
I stopped before victim.
You said that was...
you had sex with a hot chick. Congratulations.
You said that was not normal experimentation. You were molested.
But it was still like whatever.
Okay, all right. I think now is a good time for us to move on, and we'll come back and play some mail. I've got some songs I'm very excited about. Yes.
That's all I asked.
Okay. All right, we're moving on. After this very short break, we will play some new songs. And can I just tell people that we're going to play a song by...
David Hasselhoff?
Yeah, we got a David Hasselhoff song you got to hear coming up.
The Church of Lazlo on 96.5 The Buzz.
You think if...
You like that credit card?
Oh, my God. Is this the elite?
Wait, hold on a second. It's heavy, right?
No, it's thick, man. It's that girth, baby. We talked about that earlier.
Have you ever felt this?
I have one.
What's it like?
It's been turned
hold on a
off.
second, like this?
Yeah, but it's been turned off.
As thick as this?
Yeah, it's metal.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm about to do the whole business card thing.
Yeah.
You didn't have one like this.
I did. It had a chip. It's metal. It's turned off. It got turned off.
Is that Lions colors too?
Luckily, my ex took the
It kind of reflects. It kind of reflects with a blue and Hawaiian blue.
It's a Honolulu blue.
My mistake.
It's technically blue. That's the color.
I just didn't know if you
Lions.
had like a metal one. You know,
I've had them
because
yeah.
I like to give it. You know what I like to give it to? This thick credit card that's metal, that's heavy. I like to give it to people at the drive-through.
Yeah,
because it won't fit through the thing. And then I go, and then I'm like, you know what? Go ahead and dig out another one.
Yeah.
You got another one? You got more than one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this guy.
Well,
must be nice.
I had an American Express.
You want another drink?
For like a year. It was pretty cool.
Well, let me tell you this. It's a good thing that I have this very thick credit card because I am so in debt. That is how I pay my alimony.
Yeah.
On that very thick credit card.
I'll get that. All my money right now is tied up in...
pork bellies.
No.
I was sure you were going to say pork bellies.
All my money right now is tied up in available credit on a credit card. But this said credit card is turned off because I bought some porn. They thought it was suspicious, so they turned it off. And then they called me and said, hey, you need to talk to us to turn your card back on. So before I have any money, I have to call them and say, I bought the porn. Please turn the card back on.
Hey, what happened to this room? Not too long ago, you both were the elites. You're over here. He's crying.
I'm not crying.
He's drinking. What happened?
I'm going to Texas Roadhouse tonight. What are you talking about?
Just listen to yourself.
What are you talking about?
Listen to yourselves.
I'm still elite. The thing is, a little bit of my eliteness has been taken away.
It sure has.
I pay a lot of alimony. You have no idea. I feel like Johnny Carson some goddamn times, and I know that's an old reference for you millennials, but god damn, man, my alimony is a lot of money.
I read the biography.
Listen to you two. His eyes are half closed.
Oh, give me
You
a
got
break.
to clear your hand as we speak.
All right, Judge Hartzell. I think we're good.
I've had like 4 more drinks than you, and you're a young guy.
I'm just making observations, boys.
Hartzell dumps it out and then pretends like he drank it.
I'm not that guy.
You are totally that guy.
You find ways to get rid of it, and you're like, oh, man, I'm so drunk.
Oh,
like
my God.
And by the way, I've had too much to drink, but he's totally unappreciative. Completely unappreciative.
What are you talking about?
I shouldn't say anything, but I've had a little bit to drink.
Yeah.
I spent like 4 or 5 hours the last days just fighting for your job.
I know what this was.
Fighting for it.
I know. I came in
not
today.
even a thank you.
I told you I loved you.
No.
And I wore sunglasses.
You said this goddamn place and you walked out.
I did do that.
Like, wait, I have been... Will you at least tell him that I've been fighting for him for hours?
Well...
Yeah. Wasn't I fighting with you?
Yes.
I was absolutely fighting for him.
I didn't do anything. That's beside the point. I understand what this was. I understand what this was. This is trying to make me feel
better.
better.
Where the hell did he come from?
He's here to give him a ride. No. We're not turning on his mic. He
did radio.
We're out of time.
He did like mornings in Iowa or something.
I understand, but we already have 3 assholes talking.
Okay, fine. But let me just say hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hey,
good. How are you guys?
I'm so sorry. I forget your name again.
Joe.
We sat. You sat right next to me and my kids at one of the WWE things, right?
Yeah, that's where we're going tonight.
Right. I remember. Are you guys doing that tonight?
Mm-hmm. We're going.
We've known
Did
Joe
you?
for
Didn't
like
you
10
move to
years.
Iowa?
Montana.
Montana. What, I didn't know his name was Joe?
We've known him for like 10 years.
Why are you
remember
so
his name?
anxious right now?
I'm not anxious. I'm just saying, how did
That
you
didn't
forget
offend
his
you,
name?
did it? That I
No.
forgot your... No, it's fine.
He used to be around all
We
the
don't
time.
know each other that well, and it's been a long time. And probably in the last 5 years, I've seen you at that wrestling show, and that's it, man.
Oh, yeah.
He used to work for you, boss.
I felt like he was when he
Yeah,
worked
but
here.
a lot of people used to work for me.
But
Myself.
I don't need to remember their names. The key phrase is used to. I don't... whatever. What do you do now?
I work in sales.
It's radio life right there.
You work in radio at all?
No, I'm out of radio.
What happened in Iowa?
Genius.
Just not enough money for cost of living up there.
Oh, my God.
Let's go.
He quit.
I'm out.
He quit.
I'm out.
He quit. He's a quitter.
And think of that. We've been dreaming that Iowa is our backup plan. We're going to get to Quad Cities. I had no idea the cost of living was so
Let
high.
me
Our
tell
backup
you
plan should
something.
be delivering Coca-Cola.
If I go to Des Moines, I will kill Des Moines.
Yeah.
Like, they will pay us like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Money, money, money.
Let's go.
Look at ourselves.
Watch me do mornings in Des Moines. I will crush Des Moines.
You remember when
You've
we were
heard
doing
the show
well?
before. I'll crush Des Moines, right?
Oh,
They won't know what
absolutely.
hit him. They won't know what hit him.
Man, I do so good on weekends.
Do you remember, real quick,
Christ, you won't. You'll get... Every day I have to tell people not to fire
do
you.
you remember when
Every
we were
day.
doing well?
Half my job is getting people to not
Which
fire
is
you.
so ridiculous. I want to fight
All
somebody.
right,
This
all right,
is so
Hartzell.
dumb.
Let's talk about that
I'm sorry.
off
I'm
the
sorry.
air.
I'm sorry.
Off the
I got
air.
hot. I got hot.
half that's half my job.
I know.
What I am
Half
trying
my
to...
job is like, hey, he's a good guy.
I'll be gone
People are like,
soon.
why do you say that? And I'm like, I don't know.
Why do you say I'm the treasurer
No
of the
one
station?
knows what we're talking about. I am trying.
I'm saying that people try to get him
wrangle
fired
you-
all week.
I know, and I'm trying to wrangle
And
this
I had to
back
fight
together.
in an office to get him not fired.
Man,
That's what
I'm
I'm
about
saying.
to do a
and
thing.
then I was actually losing that battle. Thank you very much.
Let's fight.
So then I had to bring in this guy because everybody's like, well, bring in the common sense guy, Slim Fast. And then he actually,
had to come to work
Slim
early.
Fast saved your job this week.
Do they know who I am? I do things.
Yes.
I have built a brand. I built a brand from nothing. I started here as 200 followers on Twitter. Hashtag hire Hartzell. Joe is there. And now look at me. I'm a goddamn star. I got 10,402 followers on Twitter.
Hartzell.
At Hartzell965.
Hartzell.
I'll see y'all on Monday.
I like when you go
Hartzell.
heel. I like when you go heel.
I'm sorry.
That's exactly
I'm
what
sorry.
we said. That's exactly what
That's
we
exactly.
said.
There was the same argument we used.
I even mentioned that you started because of me going to a job fair at your high school, and you
Right.
saw me and said, I want to do that, and you did it.
I appreciate
All of that
that.
was
and
brought
then they
up.
said all of that is true, but can you show up anywhere on time? And I said,
Oh my God! I've never been. Oh, don't make me go there. I won't do it. I won't do it. That's not. I broadcasted in front of 60,000 people
Yes.
in the goddamn big house
Hey,
in
yes,
Arbor.
you're great. You're
there
great.
are a lot of things that you do really well, but
You're not
showing
punctual.
up to things on time.
You're
is
not
really,
punctual.
You're
Not
really bad at that.
punctual.
That's okay.
Joe, you're a good friend. You've been best friends for years, right?
Your timeliness is terrible.
Yes.
Timeliness is
I'm losing it.
Timeliness is terrible.
I'm gonna lose it.
It's
I'm gonna
okay.
lose it.
Look, everybody's got a thing.
Everybody's
you know?
got a thing.
No, I'm a drug addict. Like, so you're late occasionally. Big
late
whoop.
occasionally. He's late
So
every
you're
time.
late all the time. That's okay. You're so good at what you do that you can be late and even not show up to stuff, and they say he's pretty good.
I do have that
We'll keep
effect
him
on
I'm
around.
people.
still fighting for you.
Yes.
I'm still fighting. Believe me, if you weren't good at all the stuff that you just said, I wouldn't still be fighting for you. And I am.
All right.
But
we fought
God.
like boxers. Like, absolutely
Of all
not.
the people here, I'm the one on the chopping block.
But
Yes.
Hartzell, what we're trying to tell you
Just
is...
so you know, yes.
Jesus.
But
Christ.
just so you know, we never, ever, ever, ever considered anything other than Hartzell has to stay. That was our whole goal from the beginning. You got to know that.
I appreciate
It was
it.
no, absolutely not. He cannot go.
All right.
You
That
have
was
to
our
understand
fight.
that you are with us now.
Where are my sunglasses?
There's
at?
a group and a group of people who will...
We vouch for you, essentially.
If I get fired, I
got my
promise
6.
you. First off,
After this break, they may.
but if I get fired, first off, I'm never going to talk trash about the station.
No.
Or Intercom in general.
No.
It's fine.
We chose
It's been
this
a good
life.
run.
We chose this
it.
life.
Yeah.
We know what it is.
Yeah, no beef.
But I'm just telling you, we fought for you so hard that if one day they let you go, it ain't us.
Hey, I'm not mad
And
at
by
you.
the way, there may be a time when they let him. Man, they're going to let us both go together.
Yeah, we'll go together.
We're kind of tied at the hip. But if there may be a day where they let us both go and you still come in, and you know what I'll say? You know what I'll tweet? Listen to Hartzell at night.
man.
That's it.
My
Yes.
man. I love you.
I always have done that.
I love you.
We got you.
We had
But show
your
up to
back.
stuff on time,
I'm
goddammit.
on time!
You're not on time.
You weren't
Time is
there.
relative.
The worst.
I just
You
can't.
weren't there. You weren't there. Like, that's not even late.
Like,
You
they're
just
like, we
weren't
should
there.
go somewhere, and you're like, no.
You know what?
Jeremy just texted and said I should have stayed longer to stop you guys from talking.
Jeremy, I've been trying to wrangle this whole thing together. Give me some credit. I'm about to push the button. I love you, Lazlo.
I love you. Hey,
Hartzell, I love you so much.
You guys have a good weekend.
I fought for you. Joe, it's good to see you, my
Joe,
man.
why don't you come do
I haven't seen you
weekends
in a
here or
while.
something?
Yeah, come do weekends. You're
We
back
can't
in Kansas
pay
City.
you, but
Sign me
whatever.
up.
Oh, is it eventually moving up to nights? Is that the plan?
Come
Is
do
that how
Hey,
this works?
Joe,
yeah,
can you get the places on time?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Then we
Right.
got some stuff
All
for
right.
you. We got
All
some
right.
stuff for you.
I'll see you on the podcast.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
The Church of Lazlo. 96.5 The Buzz.